I had a guy call me the other day, and this guy was a soccer coach, one of the guys I personally sponsored. He's got over 1,000 agents on his team. He was a soccer coach teaching little kids how to play soccer, right? He got his real estate license because he wanted to be an investor. And so I said, well, who are you going to be with? And he says, well, I don't know. My broker's and I was at this time I was in Dallas, Texas, and his broker was in Austin. He said, my broker doesn't want to join the MLS here in Dallas. And I said, well, I'm a real estate agent. I mean, if you want to, we've got one. He said, well, how much will it cost me? And at that time, I think it was $50 a month or $80 or whatever it was. At $80 a month, he said, yeah, that'll work. That was my entire deal.
That was a pitch.
He joined like the next day, right? It only cost $85 a month. I'm in. Right? You're a part of the board. Yep. Because he wanted to see stuff he could buy. So I said, okay, and that was it. I never talked to him about anything.
That's all I needed.
And then one day because I was set up lunch and learns, and you said, what was my process? In the beginning, I sponsored individual people, and then I did a lot of meetings, one-on-one, two-on-one with them, until I got a core group that I could be sure that everyone would show up that said they would show up. So I wouldn't show up in an empty lunch and learn. But most of the time, there was 2 or 3 agents and 1 or 2 guests, maybe. Yeah. And that's how we started. We did it every week, all the time. And everybody wanted to quit, because they said, we're not getting any people to show up. I said, eventually we will. If we keep inviting them, we will find somebody who will come, and it will happen, right? And so what happened was, while I was doing, and here's a big thing I will tell you, it's part of this lunch and learn deal, is that 30%, more than 30% of every agent that I have ever brought to the company I was recruiting to came through because and from affiliates. Mortgage people, title people, whatever. And I always wanted the mortgage people and title people of my people to see the presentation so that they could know it was a good deal, because I wanted their referrals. Because they know who is not happy. They know who is looking. Because agents cry like babies to their mortgage people. This is a great
tip, what he's saying.
And so I was doing a lunch and learn. We invited this one mortgage guy, which I didn't know, I never met. It was in his building. He provided us a room for us to be able to do the presentation. He'd never been in. I said, have you ever seen this thing? And he goes, no. I said, well, why don't you sit in? You're providing the room. You're providing the lunch. Why don't you just sit your butt in and listen? And he goes, okay, I will do that one day. I said, no. Today. Just can't do, you got to do that. So he did. He came, right? And so then what happened was I did the presentation. He goes, oh my God, you've got to share this with every agent in the state. And he said, I've got someone you need to meet. So he got me in touch with a person that was the big real estate school. And he said, they allow people once a month to come in and talk about their company. And you have to buy lunch and provide lunch for them and everything. But you can talk about your company. You got 20 minutes. They have a 35-minute lunch break. You got 20 minutes. Some will stay, some won't. Sometimes there's no one stays, whatever. And I said, yeah, sure, fine, because I was willing to show it to anything, right? I didn't care if it was human or not. I just wanted to show it, right? So I said, I'm going to show this every day, at least once or twice a day. My pillows saw a lot of presentation. My wife saw presentations. My dog saw presentations. Didn't matter. I was going to do a presentation, right? So I went to this lunch. I did the little talk, quick presentation, and a lady that was in that room came up to me and said, I really like what you had to say. We need to do lunch. And she said, I want to tell you this. I never stay for these. I run 12 real estate offices. I sell $15 million worth of real estate a year. I have no time, no life. She said, but I like what you have said. We need to get together. And I normally never stay for these pitches of anything, but this is incredible. And that person turned out to be Sheila Fedgeron, who sponsored Brent Gove. Right? And so that was thousands of agents that have come aboard because of that one meeting.
Rob?
You understand what I'm saying is, that one meeting, and I've only had a few good meetings. I've had a few good meetings. Most of my meetings sucked. Right? I don't care if there's one person or 100. If it wasn't any player, when I look at people, I look at, is this person 1,000 agents? Mm-hmm. I see a minimum of 1,000. Those are who I want to work with. I can only work with a few betters. I can't work with everyone. With 30, 40,000 agents, I don't have the time to even talk to them. Right? I mean, you understand that. I mean, if I'd spent 10 seconds with them, there isn't that much time in a week. Right? And so I started looking for who were people that were movers and shakers. And Jay and Ashley were movers and shakers. When I talked to them, I said, if this guy gets it, he's a potential 1,000 agent guy. potential 1,000, right? Because when I started realizing this would be big, and so when he introduced me to Monica over the phone, I said, this is a potential 1,000 agents. I believe she'll have 1,000 or more. I think if anybody in this room has the potential to pass Jay and Ashley, it's her.
Tina Nelson.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, I don't know you yet.
We want you all to do it.
We want you all to do it. But I'm telling you this, it can be done. Very few people pass their sponsor.